to say that I'm extraordinarily jealous.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
But that's okay. Thank you again. What I'd like to do is give Ajax the courtesy of giving him the maximum amount of time possible to deliver the amazing content, the amazing champion content, and you'll see more of that soon, I'm sure. I've had the great pleasure of working with and knowing Ajax for quite some time now, and over that period I've come to understand that there are people who say that they can do things in this sphere who sound really, really impressive because they use words that confuse me, and there are people who really know what they're talking about and can make it really simple for simple people like me. So it's with really great pleasure that I'd like to introduce you to Ajax McKerral, the Managing Director of Notify, your champion presenter today.
Thank you very much, and thank you, John, for asking me to come and speak. Very pleased to be able to come and talk with you today. And we're going to talk mostly about websites. I mean, that's what we specialise in Notify. We're also going to talk about social media, email marketing. We're going to talk about some of the automations that you can do. John was talking about when you got a task, should you delegate it? John, what were the 4 things you said? Delegate, keep, delegate, outsource, or eliminate. One of those, maybe we could add another one in there. Should you automate it? There's lots of automation that you can do online these days. So everyone talks about social media. You need to be doing it. You need to be on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, etc., and I completely agree with that. But what you should be doing, in my opinion, with those properties is driving people to your website. Why is this? Well, don't know about you, but I don't own Facebook, and if I did, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. Maybe we would. But I don't control Facebook. They always change their rules about how your content ends up in people's feeds. We can't do anything about that. People gripe about it, but there's nothing you can do. But if you use Facebook as a way to drive traffic to your website, that's one place that you do control. Whether you delegate that to someone who looks after your website or whether you do it yourself, you have total control over your website, and you can test and measure, and John will tell you that testing and measuring is critical so that you know what's working, what's not working, and what can change and how to make it better. So understanding that you can test and measure and control the experience of people who come to your website gives you the capacity to improve their experience. If you improve your customer's experience, then you improve your business. So we take very much a user-focused approach and a customer-focused approach, and I'm pretty sure that who would agree that if we focus on what our customers want, then we're going to do better in business. Yeah. So that's what we're really talking about with websites, and it's not rocket surgery. If you think about how you use a website and what you expect, and think about how all the websites you visit and just bounce off, or you visit and then it's not what you want, or you visit and it is what you want and can solve your problem, all you need to do is look at your website from your user's shoes, your customer's shoes. Because people use social media for social things, liking, tweeting. But when people have problems, they tend to use Google. So you've got a problem, you do a search, you get a result. Actually, I heard a funny thing the other day. Someone said, "Where's a good place to hide a dead body?" Page 2 of the Google search results. People rarely go past page 1. So if someone's got a problem, they Google it, and say they find you on that page 1 and they come to your website. Is it clear that you can solve their problem? They can take an action to solve that problem now. And if so, well done you. That's what grows your user base and grows your traffic, is providing useful solutions to people. The other thing that your website does for you is it creates authority. So most of us are here are small business owners, and we have to go out and we have to sell. A lot of those sales, I imagine, we're doing in person. And in person, if someone trusts you and agrees that you're authority at what you do, how much easier is it to make the sale? Yep. The same thing is online. So you can use your website to grow your trust and authority. And we're going to talk about how to do that. The other major part, a role that your website can fulfill, is you can educate your customers and your users. You can provide ongoing support for your customers and your users over time. This is part creating authority, and it's also providing a better user experience. So if you're getting questions all the time about how do I do this, how do I do that, then that's a great place to put the answer on your website. It's done. You can tell them when they email you, hey, X happened and what should I do about Y? You go, hey, we've written a really helpful article about that. You can find it on our blog or in our help section. And then you've just answered it then once and for all eternity. You don't have to write that email 50 times. You've already written it once. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question about is it better to have no website or to have one that looks like this? None. This is the worst website in the world.com. I encourage you to visit it. It's a collection of the worst possible things you can do. I love it. So, or to have a website like this one. So this is Elise. She's from Aim Higher. We did this recently for Aim Higher, and this one actually is user focused. Two areas of the business: building site hire, event function hire, and the actions we want from the users is to inquire and view the products. It's very clear what actions the people need to take. So, if we did have a website like this, and you should examine your own website in light of this and in light of how you expect websites to be used, and ask yourself, does this engender trust and authority? Does it introduce doubt into people's minds? You know, they say you only have the one chance to make a first impression. I guess many of you running small businesses like myself, referrals are a big part of new business. What do you think the first thing that people do when they get referred to you, they're going to do? Oh, just Google that and, oh my God! Do you want that to be the impression, or do you want them to go, wow, they look great, I'll give them a call? The other thing that a champion website gives you is the capacity to control your Google results. So that when you Google John Millar business coach, he's filling up that page with results for him from different sites, his own, LinkedIn, etc., etc. What you write about yourself is generally what people read about you, and then that's what they believe. So you get to control the message. Now, there's about 2 million small businesses under $100 million in Australia, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. Half of all businesses don't even have a website, and it's 2015. Like, the web is almost 25 years old. So you've got to wonder what they're thinking when 83% of all Australians are online. So if you're talking about marketing to your customer, 2/5 of them are online, and half of all internet traffic is off mobile devices now. So we've crossed that threshold in Australia last year. So I'm going to tell you a little story about, camping. I love to go camping. We love to go with my family. We go out to Cape Conran. It's about 6-7 hours drive. Well, actually, it's about 10 hours with a screaming baby drive away from Melbourne. And it's not far from Canberra, and people come down from Sydney, and we get together with a bunch of friends. Over the last 5 Easters, we've gone out there camping 3 or 4 days. There's no internet, which is good for me because then I don't get to do any work. And the kids get mucky, and it's really, really beautiful place. And this is my car, loaded for camping. You can see that the pink tricycle's on there, ready to go. We used to fit, used to be 2 children and all our camping gear into that car, and the roof was loaded up, and my wife and I would say, we've got to buy a trailer, we've got to buy a trailer. Anyway, a couple of years ago, at the end of camping, I was packing everything onto the roof, and I was like, that's it, I've got to buy a trailer. As soon as I get back to Melbourne, I'm going to buy a trailer. So what did I do? I got back to Melbourne and I didn't buy a trailer. I procrastinated for several months, until eventually, later in September, we were going to go camping again. I'm like, I've got to buy that trailer. So I'd been around the corner to look. I had my office with Tim in East Ringwood, and there's Blackburn Trailers around the corner. Anyone here from Blackburn Trailers? That's okay. It turns out well, don't worry. Blackburn Trailers in East Ringwood. Now, there's one good reason never to name your business after a suburb. Anyway, Blackburn Trailers has a reputation of doing good quality trailers, but they're a bit more expensive than others. You know, you get what you pay for. They say, buy cheap, pay twice. So I'd been there, I checked out his trailers, very gruff man, but good quality trailers. And then it was Monday morning, I was going camping the next weekend, I should be working. I said to Tim, I've got to buy a trailer. He said, there's another place down on Maroondah Highway behind the service station there. They're called Cheap Trailers R Us or something. So I drive down there, and it's like, they're so cheap they've gone out of business. So they're not there anymore, and I'm sitting there in the service station in my car, not with the pink trike on it, pull out my phone, and I go, oh, there's one down on Canterbury Road, maybe 15 minutes drive, 20 minutes drive. I'll look up their website, I'll give them a call. If they're a comparable price or cheaper, I'll go check it out. So I open up their website, and it's not mobile compatible, and I'm pinching and zooming. Oh, there's the phone number in the header. So I tap the phone number. Okay, so I'll remember the phone number. So I go to the phone, and I start typing 93678. Go back to the web browser, get the next few numbers, go back, and then stuff it. It's too hard. I went round the corner to Blackburn Trailers, and we had a very lovely camping trip and didn't have heaps of crap piled on top of the roof. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. We're going to talk a little bit about blogging. Well, actually, we're going to talk a lot about blogging. So what is blogging? Blogging is no one really knows what blog means. It's just a word. Sounds like frog, blog. I don't know. Sits on a log and makes a noise. It used to be called weblog. Weblog. People are lazy. Got called blog. It's really just a news feed. We're going to talk about WordPress. What is WordPress? WordPress is a content publishing platform. It's serving a quarter of all websites now. That's something like almost 100 million websites or more. Why? Because it's incredibly easy to use. From an end user perspective, if you can use Facebook, you can use WordPress. It's also got a huge community of developers. So if you want, I want it to do X, then X is usually already built or mostly built, and you can adapt it. So that's why I think WordPress is so large. We're going to talk about content management systems. So that's just, it's a system that saves you time, effort and money to manage your content, to publish it on the web. We're going to talk about email marketing. We're going to talk about connecting out to social media. And we're going to talk about testing and measuring.